President Joe Biden named Karine Jean-Pierre as the next White House press secretary. She becomes the first Black American and the first out LGBTQ person to hold the position. She will take over after the current press secretary, Jen Psaki, leaves for a job at MSNBC. Her last day is next Friday on May 13th. Jean-Pierre has served as President Biden's principal deputy press secretary since his inauguration. She also worked on the campaign, has been very much involved in Democratic politics for quite some time. Want to go to our panel and talk about this because it is indeed history being made, and it's very interesting. You already have these people who, first of all, you got stuck on stupid people who aren't even worthy of being named. And what they do is they run their mouths saying, this means nothing. This is symbolism. Well, first of all, somebody got to do the job. So somebody's going to do the job. And so to act as if we should not celebrate the reality of a Black American getting this job. Jean-Pierre, Karine Jean-Pierre, of course, is of Haitian descent as well. And so to have one of us standing at that podium speaking to the country is critically important. Let's go to our panel. Your thoughts?
Well, I'll jump off that first one. It's critically important, right? And President Biden talked a lot about, during his campaign and the things that he would do. And so one of them, obviously, is seeing a Black woman out in the forefront every day, speaking to the press. This is going to be critically important. One of the things I think when we talk about, make sure we continue to support her throughout this process is keep an eye out for those in the right, those right wingers that without a doubt are going to be criticizing her for whatever reasons over this throughout the president's term. We know that's coming. But I think, like I said, particularly the folks that I know that are Haitian American descent, they're extremely excited about this, as they should. And I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, we just have to make sure we continue to support her when she has to deal with a lot of the nonsense from some of the other platforms we don't have to name. You already know. But this is, once again, this is really important. And like you said, Roland, the folks who are stuck on stupid or suggesting this kind of just some symbolic thing. This is the spokesperson for the president of the United States. And I know as a former congressional staffer, this is a big deal. So to see, and for all the Black girls out there who aspire to do great things, as they get older, when they see her on television, it's gonna be really important. Just like when Black women see VP Harris, this is important. It's not just symbolic. This is a person who's essentially the voice for the president of the United States. So congratulations, and I look forward to supporting her throughout the tenure.
So, Crystal, when President Obama was in the White House, I wrote a column shortly thereafter criticizing the lack of Black people in his press office. And I got a call from Valerie Jarrett, and she said, just left the Oval Office, and the president is not happy. I said, what's the problem? She said, well, Robert Gibbs came in, waving your article, and he said that attack on his press office is an attack on him. And I said, no, come back. Go back to 7. No, boxes. Leave it like it was, please. So here's what I find to be interesting, Crystal. So they called me up talking about it. And I said, well, didn't I tell y'all it was going to be a problem? Before y'all got in the White House, if the White House press secretary office looked as white as it was in the campaign, yeah. So why y'all calling me? Didn't I not tell y'all I was going to say something? Yes. So why y'all mad because I said something? Well, what should we do? I said, go hire some Black people. Now, I get a phone call from Corey Elons, and I knew what his job was. He was over Black media, and I'll never forget. I was at my townhouse in Chicago, and I said, he called. I said, stop. First of all, I know why you calling, but you're gonna listen. You could put on your little notepad. We talked, but you're gonna listen. I said, Corey, do you know why I wrote that column? I said, because see, you're going to be stuck in the director of African-American media position if somebody like me doesn't say anything. I said, but see, I also wrote the column not because of the current job. It's the job you're going to get after you leave the White House.
Right.
See, for everybody who's watching, I just need y'all to understand, Robert Gibbs, when he left the White House, he became the global communications director for McDonald's. That means that he was responsible for the entire team. When you look at the other press secretaries, they've left, and I forgot one of them who was with Obama. I think Jay Carney. He may have gone to run the communications team at Uber. I mean, we can go on and on and on. Everybody listen to me. Listen to how I think. When you are seen to be deputy press secretary or White House press secretary, it's the job you get after where you can literally change the face of a company's communications apparatus. Folk leave that job and they become executive vice presidents. They run multinational corporations. So when you say, well, it's not that really important, this is how you also break the glass ceiling in corporate America, because you transition from a position of power to a position of power.
Absolutely.
When you leave the White House, where you're not even making $200,000, you then are going in, you're going to go. So Karine is going to go from this position, no matter how long she has it, to a major position in corporate America, where she then will be making significant dollars, stock options, be able to hire other people doing the exact same thing. So for all the fools out there who are simply saying, oh, this is just symbolism, that tells me you know nothing about power. That tells me you've never sat at the table of power and you have no idea how power works. Crystal.
I, agree with you, Roland, because, one of the things that we love to talk about when it's, a white person in the position is how great of a job they do and how, they've broken major milestones. But when it's a black person, we automatically diminish the role. Well, it's not that important. It's not that big of a deal. Why is this administration focusing on another black woman, even talking about Ketanji Brown Jackson. But what people don't realize is that when you have a black person that is in a position like this, not only is it representation, right? It's aspirational for people like me and other black women in this country who may only dream about working in a White House, being the spokesperson for a president of the free world. But also, she will help shape the narrative wherever she goes after the White House. And that's what's really important. And you brought that up when you're talking about, Robert Gibbs and others who've gone on to these major corporations, because we've seen corporations make really bad mistakes as it relates to marketing for black people in this country. We've seen them have terrible campaigns, quite frankly, as it relates to black people and brown people in this country. And so I'm excited about her being in this position, because you're right. It is about right now, because it's important that we have a person of color, a black woman representing, being the voice of this administration in this moment in time. But wherever she goes next, she will literally be able to shape that narrative. And that is really, really important when we're thinking about, as consumers, how we spend our money, what we hear and see and feel in products, in companies. If we know that someone black is there shaping the narrative, making sure that other black creators and influencers and people who are in decision-making positions come in to spend their dollars, that means there will be other glass ceilings that can be broken because she has been in that position. And so I agree that people should not diminish the significance of this moment and what it means right now, because we don't know who she's elevating beneath her. She could be elevating another black woman. She could be elevating a black male. And I hope that she's thinking about just her own, the weight of what she's doing while she's in this role and the doors that she's able to open up for others. But absolutely, when you talk about the post-job experience and going into corporate America, it becomes really critical when we think about everything that we see and hear on TV and in radio and in media. If there is a black person helping to shape that narrative, how many more of our stories can get told from a lens that is, obstructive and not just a white lens. The white lens in America is literally imprinted all across everything that we do. And so when we have the opportunity to have a Black person in charge, making those decisions, those final decisions, then that becomes really critical and important to the country.
See, Greg, the thing that also jumps out, and I said Robert's Gibb left. Y'all go to my next screen, please. Jay Carney, leader of global communications for Amazon. So what it's amazing. What I'm trying to get folk to understand, Greg, is we can't be so simple and think in terms of, well, that thing doesn't matter, when in fact it does matter when you talk about who is going to be at that podium every single day. What I also hope, and trust me, is not like she does not hear from me. She does. She gets text messages from me. I would also hope that Karine, being in the job, is going to actually bring the work of the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division to the podium, be able to speak to some other issues out there, because also she's now in the room. She's now communicating directly with the president before she goes out. And we always talk about having a seat at the table. Oftentimes we're on the outside. This is also what happens when you're actually at the table. She is the last voice. His voice will be the last one, because when she communicates, she's literally speaking for the president of the United States.
That's absolutely right. She is speaking for the president of the United States of America. And we have to remember that.
To the world.
And that is exactly right. But this is the thing we have to remember. One of the most difficult things I think we faced in the last 50 years or so has been an increasing confusion over the nature of representation and collective progress for our people. We all know that the president of the United States and presidential administrations obsess over disciplined messaging. And Sister Jean-Pierre, congratulations. I think she's the second Black woman to stand behind that podium. If I'm not mistaken, the first one was Judy Smith in George H.W. Bush's administration in 1991. Judy Smith didn't speak for Judy Smith, and Karine Jean-Pierre does not speak for Karine Jean-Pierre. They speak for an administration, so it can matter. It should matter. But will it matter? That is an open question. And of course, your relationship with her goes back far, and you know this better than any of us. Who she calls on in the room, who she allows to have information, even as the White House press pool lobbies and jockeys. We need to see, if it's going to matter, Black folk who are not just Black, but who are messaging, who are asking questions, who are getting information to our people, advanced. And she certainly wasn't alone in the White House. This time last year, the New York Times was reporting, for example, that she was being prepared as a possible replacement. Well, is it a replacement when MSNBC is basically a revolving door for Democratic administrations? Because Jen Psaki's headed over there and Karine Jean-Pierre came from there here. But Simone Sanders was there. They were saying, well, maybe Simone Sanders. Ned Price at the State Department was potentially mentioned. But Karine Jean-Pierre has outlasted them all. That is indeed an achievement. But here's where I think we have to always remember. The Biden administration must be pushed. And if Karine Jean-Pierre gets up in the morning and says, boy, I wish I could say this, she's going to be limited by what that administration sends her out there to say. And that administration will only be pushed if we push it. So a lot of her potential success is going to be directly connected to what we do outside of elected people and politicians to press this administration to do some things on our behalf that they, up until now, have proven either unwilling or incapable to do. And that includes messaging, by the way, Roland, which you keep telling them over and over again.
Oh, absolutely. And again, I mean, you got the usual fools out there. Oh, she ain't one of us. She's Haitian American. First of all, y'all fools don't even realize that when Obama was in there was a guy named Patrick Gaspard, who was the political director, Haitian American. See, he was sitting here advocating for issues, and your dumb ass didn't even realize it. See, that's why I keep trying to tell people, y'all got to watch some stupid people who some of y'all follow, because they know nothing about politics, and all they do is just bump their gums and literally are leading y'all astray because they know nothing. And so we absolutely celebrate Karine getting the top job of the White House press secretary. Look forward to her doing some great things in that position. But remember, y'all, it's not always the job you have today. It's the one you're going to have next week. So you got to be thinking broader and playing chess. Some of y'all can't even play. Hell, y'all can't even play marbles. All right, folks, back to our Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Hold no punches.
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?